Good evening everyone, how are you all today? I hope you're all doing well. Today isn't a news video, we're going to be looking at a little cheeky Twitter account which I've been recently enjoying the tweets of, and this is Poorly Aged Things. Now, if anyone knows anything about the internet, nothing ages well on the internet. That is a honest fact. Nothing ages well on the internet. And if you want to, go check out their Twitter account down below in the description. But before we actually get into the main bulk of the video, did you know that if you subscribe right now you actually have a 100% chance of being alive? I know, it's quite a shocker, so I recommend you subscribe to check if you're alive, and it would be great to know that you're alive currently, and I'll be very happy that you are alive. And also, did you know that if you type down in the comments below 1 like equals blank, I will actually give you a shout out in the next video, and you will get a cheeky shout out from me, ya boy. Anyway, let us get into the video. So now, poorly aged things. You are probably wondering, what is a poorly aged thing? Well, I'll give you a cheeky little example right here and right now, by the form of a video.
Hey, how's it going? I've actually got something for you. This is the bread that you asked me to get, and you can now go make me a sandwich.
I don't think I need to explain why that video aged well for DanTDM. I really don't have to, because if someone finds that out today, I'm pretty sure that DanTDM will get pretty cancelled in a modern day, especially on Twitter. But anyway, that was the example. But for this Twitter account, they have two accounts. They have the main account, Poorly Aged Things, and also they have a second account which is explaining the poorly aged things. So let us get into Poorly Aged Things. Here is the first one. This is of course a image and video explaining why Fall Guys is so popular. And I don't think I need to explain why this is poorly aged. Because of a certain game called Among Us. It became one of the biggest games of last year, just a few months later after Fall Guys was released. And may I mention that Fall Guys was actually recently released. Among Us was released back in 2018 of all years. This was a good while ago, and then only recently it became huge. Now let us move on to this second poorly aged thing. This one is quite spicy in my opinion. Anthem, a world left unfinished by the gods. A shadowy faction threatens all of humankind. The only thing that stands between these villains and the ancient technology they covet are the freelancers. Now, other than being a horrible game which really wasn't that good and people disliked very much, you're probably wondering, why is on a world left unfinished by the gods, a shadowy faction threatens all of humankind, you're probably asking yourself. Well, for those who didn't realise, development for Anthem actually stopped recently, and the game is still unfinished. Which, I mean, for a game that EA hyped up so much, it is a sad end, but also quite ironic that the promotional material is on a world left unfinished. The world is still left unfinished, so in a way it is also quite poetic that the world was never going to be finished in the first place. So in a way, all of you are scammed who bought the game, and EA will say, haha, get wrecked son, you just got oofed by EA once again. Forget the FIFA packs, forget the bad Star Wars games, forget all of this microtransactions, you got oofed, and we told you in the first place that the world was left unfinished and would be left unfinished. Another one. You're probably wondering, oh, why have you given me Maximilian Moss's profile picture? Well, let us actually look at the explanation for this, because some of you may not know who this character actually is, because he is not called Maximilian Moss by any means, and his original name wasn't Maximilian Moss. For those of you that don't know, this is actually a picture of JC Denton from Deus Ex, which I'd say is quite a decent game. It's quite a nice game. If you've seen it as a YouTube profile picture, it's because Maximilian Moss once said it was cool. Maximilian Muss is in trouble for involving harassment and bullying of other content creators. Now, sadly, people only remember this image for being related to Maximilian Muss, instead of the legend that is JC Denton. JC Denton is quite the Chad and quite a epic mad lad, you know what I'm saying? He should be remembered not for being related to a guy that harasses or harassed many different content creators many years ago and a few months ago. He should be remembered for being JC Denton, the guy from Deus Ex, the guy from a game that's actually quite nice. Now this one, I don't think I need to explain to you why this has aged so poorly. Internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it. Now, if you actually, oh my god, I didn't realise this, but this is by the Daily Mail. Ah yes, this is by the Daily Mail. If you don't know what Daily Mail is, it is a UK mail company. And they also now have a website for Daily Mail. So, that is probably one of the most poorly aged articles in recent history. Like, oh my god, I can't actually believe this is actually aged. This was in the 2000s. Now, I'm pretty sure if you check down below on your little laptop or whatever, or your computer or your Xbox or whatever you're watching this on your phone, if you go to the little internet tab, I'm pretty sure you are currently connected to the internet. So, as you may know, this has aged quite poorly, which it is quite sad. And the guy who actually made this article, which looks seem to be James Chapman, he has made the article which will probably not be remembered, but if you've seen it, it is quite infamous for being quite tragic. This one. Now, if you don't know who this boy is, he is fellow epic Scottish guy, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And he apparently made this quote of saying, "If in 100 years I am only known as the man who invented Sherlock Holmes, then I will have considered my life a failure." Now I feel sorry for him, because no one actually remembers what else he did, other than Sherlock Holmes. He is only remembered for Sherlock. I'll give you a few other things that isn't Sherlock that he actually made. A Study in the Scarlet, The Sign of the Four, and The Lost World. No one remembers them at all. I mean, if you like his books and you're big into his books that he's actually written in the past, then you'll know that those books exist. But a majority of the population and people on the internet and in the world don't know anything about them. They only remember that, well, that's the guy that made Sherlock. He made the funny detective man, haha, funny laugh. That's all people remember him for nowadays, which, I mean, for him it's quite sad in a way, because he officially considered his life a failure. But sadly, that's all he'll be remembered for in the coming years, is Sherlock Holmes. Can I mention that I forgot when he died, but I'm pretty sure he either died in 1930 or 1929 or something like that. So it has quite literally been near enough 100 years, 9 years off since his death. Which, I mean, sadly, he predicted the future, that he would only be remembered as the guy who made Sherlock. And another one, if you don't know, I am big into the history. And if you don't know what this image portrays, this is Britain and France holding the, I don't know, I've never known how to spell it, Maginot line. Now, here you have Mr. No German, leader No German, down here just below the line, and the world looking onwards. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about this, who aren't fellow history mad lads, this actually refers to the Maginot Line. The Maginot Line was on the France-Germany border of fortifications designed to defend against German invasion in 1940. In 1940, the German army got around it by going through Belgium, By 1944, the Germans held the line, but again, Allied forces managed to mostly bypass it. So it didn't matter that Germany had it, or it didn't matter that France had it. Germany invaded anyway and held the line anyway and had it in the end. Which, as everyone knows, World War II ended with the big no-no Germans luckily being removed from Europe. So that's a big reason why it is aged poorly. Here's another one. What shouldn't be in Halo 3? The Flood, Playable Arbiter, Master Chief's Face, more Halo Ring worlds, buddying up with the Arbiter. Now, I've played Halo 3, and it's been a while since I played Halo 3, but last time I checked, the Flood were in it, and so was being able to be played as the Arbiter. So, the things that shouldn't be in Halo 3 were actually in Halo 3. So, they predicted it, but it aged poorly in the way that they didn't want it to be in, but it was added in anyway, but it was in it in the end. Here's the final one of the video. It's by SpongeBob, you know, your happy-go-lucky sponge. And it's this song that goes something a bit like this. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for ... Now, you should never say anything along the lines of N is for. Just in general, not even just on Twitter, just in general, you shouldn't say N is for blank. But that's a one-way trip to getting cancelled by the masses, especially on a place like Twitter, and this is posted in 2019. So this is in a way is one of the most badly aged things that we have actually discussed today. But I mean, sadly they did it, and hopefully they actually deleted the tweet and it wasn't actually kept around. But anyway, if you did enjoy the video, please remember to leave a like. If you disliked it, dislike it. Also, subscribe, because remember, if you actually subscribe, it shows a 100% chance of you being alive right at this moment. And it would be greatly appreciated to know that you're currently still alive. And also, in this video, 1 like equals 1 less thing aging poorly. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next video, whenever that is, so I'll catch you all in.